Nothing exposes the catastrophic governance deficit of the Narendra Modi government more brutally than the collapse of India's examination system. A government obsessed with slogans, PR, media narratives, and photo ops has failed to protect the integrity of India's competitive examinations. Ministers busy targeting and fixing the opposition and managing elections are neglecting the duties of governance. Under Modi, central institutions are either weaponized for political ends or left to decay from within. Nowhere is this institutional collapse more visible than in the medical entrance examinations, and the price is being paid by lakhs of India's young people. I write this column not only as a columnist and a parliamentarian, but also as the mother of a doctor. My son was part of the very first batch to sit for the National Eligibility Cum Entrance Test, or NEET, for undergraduates. NEET UG in 2013. At the time, there was genuine hope that one single national medical examination would reduce the traumas of multiple tests and endless and exhausting cycle of endless travel, crushing expenses, anxiety for students and parents. 13 years later, that promise lies in ruins. A regime that speaks endlessly of New India has failed India's young. The human cost is devastating. A leaked paper is not merely an irregularity. It means a shattered, traumatized 18-year-old, a harried family, and a destroyed future. The cancellation of the NEET UG examination this year reportedly pushed at least 4 young aspirants to die by suicide. That is a tragic fact. As a mother, I have seen the crushing pressure these examinations impose. Even during the first year of NEET UG, confusion reigned. Some medical colleges resisted the examination, others accepted the NEET examination, but no one seemed to know which was which. Students traveled endlessly between cities, airports, railway stations, and exam centers. Coaching classes, logistical chaos, and mounting costs imposed a Herculean emotional, physical, and financial burden. And my son was among the fortunate ones. He had family support, he had financial stability. Millions do not. Across India, parents mortgage jewelry, sell land, and exhaust lifetime savings to finance coaching fees and travel for examinations, which are increasingly corrupted by organized criminal networks. During my son's NEET journey, I met many parents carrying stories of punishing hardship, all clinging to just one hope: a medical seat for their child. In these circumstances, the cavalier attitude of the Narendra Modi government towards medical entrance examinations, both undergraduate and postgraduate, both NEET UG and PG, is unforgivable. NEET UG paper leaks, postponements, cancellations, litigation, and administrative chaos have today become routine. NEET PG examinations too have repeatedly faced disruption. This is not an aberration, but a recurring, shameful national scandal, a systemic collapse. The data is damning. India has witnessed 220 documented exam fraud or exam integrity breach cases across 21 states and the center between 2005 and 2026, affecting an estimated 9 to 10 crore students. Of these, 72 occurred between 2005 and 14. A staggeringly 148 have occurred between 2015 and 2026, the overwhelming majority during the Modi era. 87 examinations had to be cancelled altogether. Imagine that, 87 exams cancelled. The government's lack of accountability is impossible to ignore. BJP or NDA governments account for 129 of the 220 documented cases, nearly 59%. Post-2015, the concentration becomes even sharper: 99 of 148 documented cases, or 67% examination leaks, all occurred under BJP NDA governments. But perhaps the most shocking figure is this. Despite 148 documented cases since 2015, there have been exactly one verified conviction. Only one conviction. The CBI has investigated at least 17 post-2015 examination scam cases, 0 convictions. The Enforcement Directorate has investigated at least 11 such cases, again, 0 convictions. This exposes the fundamental hypocrisy of the Modi government. India's premier investigative agencies today functions less as institutions of justice and more as political weapons targeted at Modi's political rivals. Opposition leaders are relentlessly raided, they are harassed, they are investigated with great media spectacle and media trumpeting. But when it comes to protecting India's students from organized examination mafias, the Modi government and its oh so powerful investigative agencies suddenly become paralyzed and incompetent. That is the truth. In the NEET 2024 paper leak case, the alleged mastermind secured bail because the CBI failed to file a charge sheet within the mandatory 90-day period. 90 days, and the mighty Modi government could not complete basic prosecutorial procedures in one of the country's biggest education scandals. 90 days passed, the CBI could not act. The nature of examination fraud has also evolved. Before 2015, traditional, that is physical paper leaks, accounted for roughly 32% of document cases of examination fraud. Today, they constitute nearly 70%. WhatsApp and phone cameras have enabled industrial scale cheating, where one compromised insider in a printing press, transport chain, or in a strong room, or in an examination center, one insider can destroy the future of lakhs of students overnight. There are at least 15 documented controversies involving NEET, AIPMT, state PMTs, AIMS, PG, FMGE, JIPMER, COMEDK, and other examinations. Yet the Modi government continues to treat every examination scandal as though it was just an isolated mishap. It is not. It is a pattern of sustained administrative and governance failure. The National Testing Agency, NTA, set up in 2017 by the Modi government, remains alarmingly opaque. Who runs the NTA? Where are the transparent annual reports? Where is accountability? Why does an organization controlling the futures of millions of young people function with so little public scrutiny? In 2024, I wrote a letter to the Education Minister, Dharmendra Pradhan, asking for more details on the NTA. What is this NTA? I never received a response. The newly appointed NTA chief, former IAS officer Abhishek Singh, assumed charge only weeks before the NEET UG 2026 examination. How can any institution stabilize a nationwide examination mechanism with this chaotic last-minute appointment? But lessons are never learned because under Modi, accountability simply does not exist. The Radhakrishnan Committee, set up in 2024 under the chairmanship of former ISRO chief K. Radhakrishnan, recommended structural reforms and greater transparency for the National Testing Agency or NTA. Yet implementation remains patchy and cosmetic. Under the Modi government, committees exist primarily to deflect outrage until the next scandal erupts. Because when winning elections becomes an obsession, governance is simply not a priority. Winning elections is an obsession, governance is not a priority. India has only a part-time education minister in Dharmendra Pradhan. Placed in charge of elections in Haryana, Bihar, and even active in West Bengal, Pradhan is perpetually occupied with electioneering and party management. Political campaigning seems to consume much more of his energy than repairing the educational infrastructure. The absence of a full-time education minister is a terrible disservice to India's young. This obsession with electioneering at the cost of governance and administration is the defining syndrome of the Modi government. It's a defining syndrome of this government. Home Minister Amit Shah's political energies have long been consumed by a driving need for electoral conquest and vendetta politics. Even as massive national security lapses occur, Shah remains in perpetual campaign mode. Shah is perpetually campaigning. He's neglecting his administrative responsibilities. The Pahalgam terror attack of 2025 revealed terrifying gaps in national security. No accountability has been fixed. The Red Fort bomb blast in Delhi later in the same year showed that no attention had been given to strengthening national security systems. Amit Shah campaigned relentlessly in the West Bengal Assembly polls of 2026, constantly stoking fears of Ghuspetia or migrants who were allegedly crossing over from Bangladesh. Shah almost seemed to forget that as Union Home Minister, border security falls directly under his own watch. If immigrants are coming in, that is Shah's responsibility. Prime Minister Modi continues to host Pariksha Pe Charcha events, even though his own ability to take a Pariksha exam or earn a university degree is shrouded in doubt. Modi has even authored a book, Exam Warriors. But which particular exam has Narendra Modi cracked or excelled in? Which exam has Narendra Modi excelled in? The public doesn't know. Modi dispenses study tips through Man Ki Baat. He constantly speaks of Startup India, Stand Up India. But what has Modi done to fix the examination system on which millions of young people depend? Can slogans secure examination papers? No, they can't. Carefully choreographed photo ops cannot compensate for a prime minister presiding over a total governance collapse. The tragedy is that even after enduring two deadly waves of COVID that exposed the fragility of India's healthcare system, the Modi government has failed to prioritize healthcare or strengthen medical education. As early as the 1960s, the Kothari Commission had recommended 6% of GDP to be allocated to education. But India's public spending on education is stuck at 2.5% of the union budget and health at only 2%. For much of the past 2 years, the health minister, Mr. J.P. Nadda, was preoccupied with party responsibilities as BJP party president. The education minister, Mr. Pradhan, as I mentioned, remains immersed in organizational politics. The home minister is busy fixing political rivals. Under the glittering PR and one-sided media trumpeting, the all-round administrative failure of the Modi government has been sadly normalized. Universities face increasing political interference. Vice chancellors are appointed for their ideological loyalty rather than academic merit. Independent educational institutions are being steadily weakened while centralized political control expands. The over-centralizing Modi government has failed to create the conditions for excellence in any field, precisely because all it wants is control, control, and more control. Nothing captures the governance deficit of the Modi years more completely than the total collapse of India's examination system. India's students deserve better than this permanent anxiety and chaos. Worried parents deserve better than watching their children's dreams shattered by a government which is too distracted by electioneering to govern. The Modi government is a government of PR, slogans, media narratives, headline management, and nothing more. In the era of slogans, here's a new slogan for the Modi Sarkar: Modi Sarkar, not so neat.